Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Do As We Do. I'm Kimberly, and this is my co-host,
Jill.
And we're back for another Do As We Do live. And today we are sharing and talking about, we're giving tips on how to get our loved ones settled, because anyone who is a caregiver knows how difficult that can be, right, Jill?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So we will jump into that conversation shortly, but just to remind everyone, we are on the Do As We Do Facebook page live, on Jill's YouTube live, on Do As We Do's Twitter, and Do As We Do's YouTube. We're streaming live in those different places. So wherever you're watching us, please say hello, ask a question. Maybe if you watch on the replay, put hashtag replay and where you watched from. And if you find this information valuable, please share it with someone that you know could use it.
And if you have helpful tips,
Yes.
Please drop them because everybody's different. And we know that you have ideas
Yes.
or things that work or things that didn't work.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting how over the many years that my mom has been diagnosed, the tips I get from others, and when I try them, it's a 50-50 chance because, dementia is different for everyone. So it's a 50-50 chance whether it works, but I try them. I try whatever suggestions because you don't know.
And even each person with dementia is different from one stage to the next. So we always need more tips.
Yes, 100%. Yep. So, okay, let's jump in.
Maida.
Yes.
I said it
Hi,
right.
Maida. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Maida's my dear friend.
Well, thank you, dear friend, for joining us. We appreciate that. So, the first tip, Jill, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Where's the list? I can't remember what order we put them in.
It was, the first one was, you emailed me the list. I can send it back to you. And it might be in our calendar invite, but the very first one would be don't offer or eat food after 5 or 6 o'clock. And if you give them supper, to do a light supper.
Yeah. Okay. So that one's kind of a good tip for anybody.
Yeah.
But specifically for someone with dementia, because they might not know why their belly hurts, or they might not have their digestion going as well as they used to, especially with Parkinson's type dementia. There's a lot of digestion and elimination struggles that go on with people with Parkinson's. So whatever your loved one is struggling with, eating late or eating spicy or eating a big meal after a certain time, and you have to figure out what time that is for you. And because everybody's different when they get up and what their day looks like and whether they're a night owl. Bedtime might be 6 o'clock for one person and it might be 2 a.m. for another person. So I'm not going to give you a time after which you shouldn't eat, but just remember that eating too close to bedtime can really keep you up at night because of the influx and outflux of nutrients and especially sugar in your bloodstream.
Yeah, very much so. And they might have to go potty too.
Yeah, potty.
Yeah. And that can be cause a little glitch in your evening. Yeah. Number 2, speaking of sugar and caffeine, don't give any sugar or caffeine late.
Unless some people, like I read a thing one time that said 10% of the population drinks a cup of coffee to help them sleep. And I have a friend that I talked to just last night, and she is a caregiver, and she drinks a cup of coffee before bed every night, and it helps her relax and sleep. So you have to see what's best for you, but typically caffeine is not good for trying to go to sleep.
And sugar is bad 100% for any cognitive disease. It's bad all the way around.
Yeah, you'll have that sugar rush roller coaster thing going on,
Yeah.
the high and then the low, and
100%. Number 3, and this is something I found out the hard way, to decrease their water intake early enough, like say 2 or 3, depending on what time they go to sleep, right? To make sure that they don't have any accidents in the middle of the night. But with that, you have to make sure you give them plenty of water during the day, you mentioned.
Yeah. So I even find for myself, I am likely to get up once or twice in the night to pee.
Mhm.
And I find that if I forget to drink enough water early in the day, then I'm super thirsty all afternoon and evening. And I need to hydrate my body. So I go ahead and drink the water and then I pee at night. So it's really helpful if you can have your very first thing that you even have in the morning is your glass of water. You can flavor it if you need to, if your stomach just can't abide a glass of warm water in the morning. My grandma always had a whole bunch of warm water first thing in the morning, and she loved it. My mom has lemon water every morning, and I do that quite a bit too. But have water, like probably 6 of your 8-ounce glasses of water, if you go by that. Have them all before like noon or 2, and then have a little bit more water in the afternoon whenever you have a snack or you're thirsty or whatever, but most of your water early in the day, and then you do all your peeing before bed.
We make it a game of see how many, and give her like little treats of sorts, rewards, if you will, for her, because she's not a big water. I don't know what it is. It's like you have to force some people to have water, and she's one of those. So I definitely have to come up with creative ways to get her to drink more water, because it's really vital. Even from even now, me, I mean, I carry a thermos all the time because I'm constantly craving cold water, especially cold water, to keep me on track, and it just also helps my mood as well. So, okay, number 4. Peaceful, happy feelings with their favorite music, movies, TV, and I've never read to my mom, but you said that you used to do a lot of reading to your was it your grandmother, or your mom used to do reading to your grandmother?
We're just a big reading family.
Okay.
So yeah, my grandma had friends that would come over and read to her, and my mom would read to her, and my mom's amazing. But so the studies have shown that soothing classical music is really good for most people, even if they're not classical music lovers.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't abide classical music, you can. There are a lot of different kinds of classical music that many people aren't really familiar with, and the thought of classical music brings up images in your mind of just really not pleasant music. But there is really good, pleasant classical music that anybody can stand for at least 15 or 20 minutes just to help soothe anybody in the family. But also, you can just have whatever music your loved one loves, whatever music helps them to relax, and maybe have some of those older memories of quiet times with their spouse before bedtime, or something that helps them remember a time that they're fond of.
Yeah, story times.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Whenever I play Chubby Checker or anything in that genre, my mom likes to tell stories of when they used to go to, the little weddings or quinceañeras or whatever the party was, because dancing was definitely her thing for sure. So,
nice.
Yeah. So, number 5 is, if your loved one is in pain, to address it and use medication that make sure that doesn't counteract with their regular medication, oils or warm packs, maybe ice. You mentioned for like 15, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, ice, because older people, their skin is thinner and they're less likely to be as muscular. And so we need to be really cautious with heat and ice. Don't have a source of heat that's very warm. Put it on the very lowest setting if you have a heating pad that you plug in, and make sure that you set a timer so that you won't forget to take it off, because it's so easy to burn an older person.
Yeah.
But it's also so soothing for some people if they have pain, and knee pain or neck pain or whatever. And then ice, the same thing. I know so many older people who prefer ice to heat because it kind of numbs their pain. But you don't want to leave something frozen on somebody for too long either, for the same reason.
Burn. You can cause an ice burn or stick to their skin, which awful.
Can cause problems.
Yeah.
And then the oils, there's great essential oils for sleepy time, lavender and frankincense, and you can look up, doTERRA or Young Living or whatever. I think doTERRA has an amazing line of things that can help with sleep. There's capsules and essential oils that you can drink or rub on your neck or your skin or whatever that can help. Tea. There's fabulous teas, chamomile tea and different kinds of tea that can help people relax.
Yeah. Sleepy time tea they even have.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Number 6 is to set the room temperature for their comfortable, and if they have, like, for my mom, I feel like even my grandmother was always cold. We would shut the vent so the rest of the house would still get, the right temperature for whatever the outside is. And then if they're still cold, because they're cold even in the summertime, we just wrap them up in, whether it's thicker pajamas, more covers, to make sure that they're nice and cozy.
Yeah. And on the other hand, some people really need it cool and even maybe chilly. Like, I've known people that have had the AC on and a fan going in the summer. And I had a patient one time who, even in the winter, and her heat, she kept it at about 60. So it wasn't very high anyway. And she kept her window cracked and a fan on all night long, because she couldn't sleep if it would get too stuffy or hot. Yeah. And she didn't have claustrophobia. She just needed all that airflow. And she just was a warm, very warm-blooded gal.
Yeah. But it definitely helps when the temperature is just right for them to be able to sleep, for sure.
Yeah. Sleeping sweaty or with cold toes is a recipe for not sleeping.
Yes, very much so. Number 7, be consistent with their bedtime routine.
Yeah. And that's, again, something that changes a lot from the different stages of dementia, sometimes for many of our loved ones. Yeah. So the bedtime and the routine can change. It can be just a short brush your teeth and go to bed kind of thing. Or it can be, take a warm bath and then do all the things, and lotion and foot rub and teas and essential oils. You can do whatever is necessary to create a routine, but don't make the routine so complicated that you just don't have the energy to stick to it every night.
Yeah. I typically get her, whenever she moves into her bedroom for the night, I make sure that, I have to ask her every probably 2 hours if she has to go to the bathroom anyways. It's just, now she's at that stage that it's just better to prompt her, because she'll hold it if she's doing something or she's watching something. So when she moves to the bedroom, I'm like, Mom, don't hold it. But yeah, so we put on her pajamas, and she brushes her teeth, and then she moves into the bedroom. So it just kind of gets her ready. And, I put on whatever it is that she wants to watch for the night. Sometimes she's out like within 30 minutes of her laying down. And sometimes she just watches the whole movie and then slowly falls asleep. So
yeah, I have a couple of cute little stories that talk about bedtime routines. So I have a friend who took care of his stepmom for 8 years as she slid into dementia. And she had always had a bedtime routine of having a little cup of wine before bedtime when it started getting dark, or when it was the end of her favorite evening program on TV, because that's kind of what she had always done with her husband, was watch their favorite shows on TV. And then when those shows were over, they'd go into the kitchen and have a cup of wine and then go to bed. And so that was still her routine when her stepson took care of her. And so the cup of wine would just help her get kind of relaxed and maybe a little bit, tipsy or something, I don't know. And he would go tuck her in bed, and as he was leaving, she would say, "Where are you going?" Because she thought he was her husband there towards the end. And it was really funny for him, but also kind of poignant for him that he had to say, it's time for you to go to sleep by yourself, and just kind of like, I don't know how he really handled it, but it was just cute how that routine made it uncomfortable for him, and he had to come up with some fast talking. And another routine that she had, the same mom had at nights, was to call her mom in the evenings. So he tried using that, and of course her mom had passed away long ago, but she would often ask, "Can I want to call mom and let her know where I am," as though she was like at a pajama party or something. She would want to call her mom and let her know where she was. And so he would have her call his sister, who he thought sounded just like her mom. But a lot of times his mom didn't recognize the sister. I mean, she knew the sister wasn't her mom. She would be like, "That's not my mom. That's Norma," or whatever his sister's name was. And so yeah, he tried these things, and it was really helpful a lot of times, but sometimes she saw right through them. And so those are just some cute little stories about that.
My mom sometimes has hallucinations when she's, about to fall asleep, or she's, in her bed. She'll think that she, somebody walked by, or that the dog did something, or that she heard the phone ring, or whatever it is. And so I just, her perception is her reality, and I live in her world. So I kind of roll with, depending on what it is, I'll roll with the story, or make something fun and go along with it, but it's definitely, you got to think on your feet, and
right.
Yeah. And if you have to redirect, but don't ever make them feel wrong, it definitely
don't argue.
Don't argue with them.
Correct them. Just,
just roll with it. So, number 8 would be encourage prayer or meditation. Did you ever do bedtime prayers with your?
Yeah, we were raised saying bedtime prayers, and my grandma and grandpa helped raise me when I was little, just for short stints of time.
It froze.
And my screen just, did I freeze? Anyway,
say it one more time.
So when my grandma got really confused, she would still kneel at her bed and pray. And it was just so sweet that she would still do that practice, even though her knees would hurt and she was so tired. And there was a period of time after my husband got sick with his go-for illness that we stayed with my parents for 6 months between where we moved from and where we moved to, because I wanted to be near my mom. I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I didn't have any clue what was going on with my husband. And so we stayed with my parents for 6 months, and I would hear my grandma in her bedroom, because my room was just down the hall from my grandma, and I would hear her saying over and over and over, "And bless those little Armijo boys." And then she'd say, "And bless those little Armijo boys, and bless those little Armijo boys." She just wanted to bless my kids. And I think that God answered those prayers, because my boys have been so blessed over the years. They've always been healthy and survived all their little mishaps and dings and stuff, and had to be my grandma's prayers, right? Over and over. Cute.
That's sweet. So, and number 9, our final tip is reminisce with pictures or of the
Photo
family or
albums.
stories or trips. Yeah, albums.
Yeah, and those little I have one because my kids I don't think I'm getting dementia, I hope. But my kids gave me a skylight. It's one of those screens that you can load pictures
Yeah.
on the internet, and it will play, show you a picture for however long you set it for, and then it goes to the next picture. And they just loaded it up with pictures of my grandkids, and
Yeah.
I just love it. I stick it next to my computer when I'm at work, and I've known a lot of patients that had those next to their bed. And even when they get to the point where they don't know who the people in the screen are, which is really kind of sad, they still enjoy the pictures because by then they've gotten familiar with just the fact that it's there and that there's pictures going by, and they'll be like, oh, isn't that a cute kid? And
Yeah.
isn't that a nice looking lady? And
well, and all the like the I can't say her name. Well, the Alexas of the world, smart home devices, or the Googles. I have to say it softly because I have both of them. If you attach an album and you log in under your profile, you can connect, make your pictures rotate through, like when it's on sleep, or it can be just your default for those screens to come up. So definitely a lot of the smart home devices have that capability. Or good old fashioned, just like my mom's room is just decorated with purposely nothing but all her, family, friends, tennis, all her trips, things of that sort, with her in them, just like it's so we can just point, and when she wakes up in the morning, that's the first thing she sees. When she walks in the hall, she sees more pictures to where she knows, right now she still knows for the most part who those people are. But slowly but surely, she'll forget somebody's name or something like that. So we just try to, do a little daily, guess who, who is this, mom, or where was this? And, have those sort of things. I think I'm going to start having her, I'm going to put Velcro on the frames and then have her match up,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, just a little game for her to be able to,
and help with her her shoulder strength and stuff too, to keep her physically able to reach and do that sort of stuff too. And we have to remember our elders didn't have all this electronics back in the day, and they are very fond of photo albums and looking, turning pages. And so even if you don't have a photo album, get one and just put a bunch of pictures in it, maybe one picture per page, so that they can look at that one picture, because a bunch of pictures on a page can be a little bit of overstimulation. But just put one picture per page, and just like you do, Kimberly, just ask, do you remember where this was? Do you remember this time? And they're more likely to remember the old times when they were younger and you were younger, you were maybe a little kid, and just help them remember the good old times.
Yeah. And if she doesn't, I just go with it. I'm like, well, it looks like this. I try to guess the background for her, so that coaching, instead of telling her, no, that's not where you were at, you were here. So some days it's easier than others, but it definitely is a good practice for anyone with a cognitive disease to be able to recall those memories, for sure. Because the more that they recall, the longer that memory stays, even though eventually they will definitely be gone. But in the meanwhile, I have learned that the more direct and precise in when I'm asking a question, as far as having to do with family, I get real specific, so she's not confused or doesn't feel like she doesn't know what we're having a discussion about.
Short questions, short responses, little cues.
100%. And the bonus, I also do with, if anybody has a dog, having her, pet and play with, not play, but pet the puppy or their animal to sleep. It is soothing for both.
Yeah.
Animal and
Dog or a cat. So wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. 100%.
If the person likes dogs and cats. Some of our elders don't like them, and some of our youngers don't like them.
Yeah.
You never know. But if your loved one likes a pet, then
Yeah.
that's a wonderful way to help them settle down and
wrap up their day for sure. 100%. So let's talk about really, we'll wrap it up and just let everyone know that next week, what we have on our topic will be
bath time.
Bath time. And we're going to have a guest.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit high level about our guest.
Okay. So our guest is named Carlos. Carlos, oh, good grief. I know him really well. His name just slipped my mind. Carlos something. Anyway, it's awesome. I've known him for probably more than a year, and he takes care of his dad, and his dad is hilarious. His dad is a jokester, and he's been through many iterations of the best way to get his dad into the shower. And at one point when I first met him, he thought he had it down and told me that if he told his dad it's time for us to go get donuts, then his dad would he would say, let's get in the shower so we can go get a donut. Then his dad would go hop in the shower and they'd go get a donut. And so I thought the problem was solved.
But he's going to share more.
But then a couple of weeks ago, he said that he was really struggling with getting his dad in the shower. And he thought his dad had probably had about 13 showers in the last 6 months, I think was what he said.
Oh, my goodness. So he's going to share with us how he solved that problem.
Yeah. So he has another problem solved. And he posted a video, which was adorable, of his dad going up the stairs to go take a shower. So his dad is physically still pretty strong. He just went right up this spiral staircase while he was talking about the fact that he needed to go take a shower because he had a dingleberry in his butt crack.
Can't wait. That is hilarious. Well, I think Jill froze on us again. Let's see.
Oh, there we are.
Come back. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for, it's Carlos Olivas.
That's what it is. Yeah. Carlos.
I looked it up. I didn't, I'm not going to say I remembered, but I just went and looked it up. But yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And I actually played basketball with a young lady with that same last name. So that's why I didn't mess up the last name.
Yeah, you knew that one.
Yeah. So he'll be on with us next Friday. I'm super excited about that. And thank you, Metascope. We appreciate you as well. We're glad that you find value in the information we're sharing today. Please share it with someone. And if anybody out there has questions for Jill or myself, please leave them in the comments. We definitely want to get them answered. If you would like to be a guest and share your story, we'd love to have you. Please reach out to Jill. You can reach her at any of all these places that I have listed out here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, her website. Couldn't get that one out quickly. Or you can reach out to us, DoAsWeDo, in all these wonderful different places. Either way, we would love to have you on, and sharing your stories. So,
or we'd love to prepare something on a topic that you're needing help with.
Yes. So leave that in the comments as well. So yeah, definitely. We're here to provide you as much value as we can. We want, as we share our stories and our tips, like we said, there's always something different. So we definitely want to hear from you. Because remember, it's not about if you die, but it's about if you live. And if you don't have a plan and you haven't told someone what that plan is, they're going to end up a very confused, unpaid family caregiver. And we don't want that.
Right.
Right.
We want our money and our stuff to go where we want it to go.
Yes, 100%. So, but we appreciate you all very much for being here. And thank you again, Jill.
Thank you, Kimberly.
And we'll be back next Friday with Carlos. So
I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Have a great weekend, everyone, and a great week. And we'll see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.